All right. So the future of collectivism. So I mentioned in the other video, I saw Jimmy Whisper had gotten buck breaking, and we watched the whole thing, or at least I watched most of it. I was like, dang, gum. There's some good clips in there though. Some good clips in there, so I'm gonna try to find those. Hopefully, Tariq Nasheed. I'm gonna try to put a different title in there. That way, kind of like Uncle Buck, and then do like breaking or something like that. But yeah, I'm gonna see how it goes. Maybe I'll do like Breaking Bucks, Electric Boogaloo. I don't know. I'll find something to do. But I thought about it with I thought about collectivism, and I think that collectivism, and whether it's a racial collectivism or a regional collectivism, is coming back. Now, the reason I say this is because I just saw Barackalypse and his series on neoliberalism. And I probably don't agree with his actual political views, but it was a very good objective look at the history of neoliberalism. Now, I'm sure he's got other chapters that he's going to do, other videos that he's going to do, because he's just gotten up through maybe about 1960, I think. So other videos are coming, but I think that they'll come in time. So talking about Reagan and all that business. But the thing is that so much of that was based on individualism. And I think that, the history of neoliberalism with free markets and people like Hayek, this and that, and versus embedded liberalism, I think that now we are starting to see the destruction of that. And we're basically just going back to like the 1930s and 40s, where, we're going to have a form of collectivism, or forms, plural, of collectivism, And honestly, I think that's going to be good. Like I say, I think that, they talked about the political interests, but also the business interests that supported neoliberalism, because basically they supported free markets, and, they were anti-union, this and that. And ultimately they cucked to their paymasters, and they did what they were told. But I think that this is reversing. And I think that now we're coming back into a time where it's in vogue. And I think that it's gaining steam, the idea of collectivism based on race, based on region, and based on a separate history, And by the way, that doesn't include the LGBTQ. I think that, like I say, I think that buck breaking documentary was very good. Like I say, it was a step or two above the normal Tariq Nasheed affair. A lot of better editing. The same folks, generally speaking, as he's talked to, throughout the Hidden Colors series. Dr. Phil Valentine. You had, Judge Joe Brown. You had Corey Holcomb. Whole group of folks. Really, it was the same folks that he was talking to throughout the whole thing. But, it kind of showed basically at the end there is that this idea of collectivism having, I imagine they didn't specifically say it, but they wanted to, they wanted to teach their own history. So they want to teach about African history. They want to teach about, the Bantus and the Zulus, teach about Kemet, teach about Kush, the Kush Empire, all those sorts of things. Talk about Garvey, of course, et cetera, Malcolm X, of course, in a realistic way, And I'll admit that new book, about Malcolm X, that I did get, that came out about 10 years ago now, by Manning Marable, saying that Malcolm X could have been bisexual. A lot of folks were pissed off about that. It's like, to me, there are other errors in this book that you're like, no, this is bullshit. But it's a heavy book. Like I say, I think that there's good stuff in it. But anywho, I need to finish reading it one of these days. I'm about maybe a quarter of the way through. Anywho, but I do think collectivism is going to be on the rise, I think, in some way. I think neoliberalism is going to hold on, and this sort of, individualist mindset where you can make as much money as you want to, and live the life that you think is what you're destined to live, while screwing over other people, is okay. I think that will exist in some cases, but I honestly feel like this is going to be temporary. And I think that ultimately they have lost steam, and I think that they've lost power. And I think, while you can talk about the strengths of capitalism over most socialism, I think that socialism is gaining ground. And I think with socialism, you naturally have collectivism that goes with it. Just as capitalism has individualism and, making everyone into a product, like I say, everything works hand in hand, right? Marketing and learning how to, market segmentation, advertising to these folks works for capitalists so that they can sell specialized products and make more money. It's the whole idea of it, right? So you can get a specialized bike and pay, I don't know, $30,000 or $40,000, however much, maybe even $100,000 for a customized bike that only fits you, right? Versus, I think, with a collectivism where it's like it's not to say that everybody's going to perfectly get along and everyone's going to love each other, but there's an idea of it's more like a family. Like, look, only I can talk shit about him. You can't say shit about it, that sort of thing. And I think that's what's going to occur more and more in the future. And I welcome it. I do. I welcome it. I welcome that sort of lifestyle, even though I'm more of a introverted type of guy. I feel that that's going to be a better life for folks, and if climate change continues to get bad, I think collectivism is the only way. Collectivism and socialism is the only way. And whatever form of socialism takes, or whether you want to say it's bastardized socialism or whether it's real socialism, quote unquote, that's going to be the future. The federal government is not going to be able to take care of everybody. I really don't. And they're I think that, I said this before and I'll say it again, I think that the powers that be are just going to continue to move towards a future where it's just like, well, we need to leave this world and we're going to continue, we're going to have our own little individualist Ancapistan on, a different planet, right? And I feel like that is a possible future. So, but yeah, basically, teal deer, collectivism has a very bright future. Excuse me. Collectivism has a bright future. And whether it's some sort of black collectivism where they teach about the history of the African peoples and the various types, whether it's Kush or whether they're talking about the creation of Yaqub, let them. If they want to have Garvey type schools, let them. I say, let brothers and sisters do that. And they can clean up their own communities. White folks, we need to come in and clean up our own communities, right? And that's what it's about. Asians are going to clean up their communities, although there's not that much there. They're pretty insular, and they're insular within their own different, nationalities, right? So Chinese stick to their own, Vietnamese stay to their own, Filipinos stay to their own, et cetera, right? Same thing with Latino. Same thing with, they all kind of, maintain. So I think that's the best way. It doesn't have to be about hatred. It doesn't have to be about, we're superior to this. No. It's just about a celebration of other cultures and embracing your home culture, And I think that's going to be where things go. So hopefully y'all enjoyed that video. Sorry if I'm a little low energy, but hopefully y'all enjoyed that one. So see you later and a goodbye.